So I'm going to talk before and after the film, so don't leave right after, because I'm going to explain some things that people will probably be a little confused about. Hi, I'm Joe Talkowski. I'll say Joseph, so my mom's happy. I figured I'd tell you guys some stuff about me before I show you the film I made. I'm also reading off of a script because I'm not too good at winging it, so I prepared this morning. So I'm 17 years old, I go to Hanover High, and this is a project for my humanities class, but I wanted to make it anyway. I make music, which some of it is featured in this. I love hanging out with my friends, playing sports, eating food, the typical. I like regular kid things. What differs from the regular kid things is I've suffered from depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts for the past couple years. Although that might not be normal to some people, a lot of people suffer from these things every day. I wanted to make this short film to show the struggle and battle you have with yourself every day when you suffer with something as crippling as mental health issues. So I'll explain what the things in this mean to me after, but I want people to either see it from an outside perspective or an inside perspective. You may think, wow, that actually can happen, or you think, wow, I've done that before. Now, I'll let you know beforehand that there isn't too much of a story. But I think that's the point. I didn't want to limit how many people felt represented by telling my own story. I wanted to tell a general story in order to appeal to all the people with mental health issues. This is about them, not me. Although I think this was really good for my own mental health, this wasn't to focus on me. This is for the people that have suffered and still suffer every day of their lives, and they think that there is no hope and won't allow themselves to find that hope. We truly need to change that. I'm going to read you guys some statistics real quick, even though not many people like statistics, but suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the US. For ages 10 to 24, it is the 3rd leading cause. Every 2 hours and 11 minutes, a person under the age of 25 dies due to suicide, which is 10 people every day. 1 in 7 students have considered suicide in the past year, and 1 in 14 have attempted. I don't know about anyone else, but that makes me sick to my stomach. I want to make people feel less alone. I want to be the person I needed when I felt alone the most. I want to be the best version of me in order to make everyone else the best version of themselves. I care about these things so much, and my goal in my life is to make other people care as much as I do. Above all else, I want people to see that they are loved. I've told my friends I've loved them a lot more recently, which I do. They're here right now, and I love them with all my heart. If they weren't here, I don't know if I'd be standing here today. While I'm on the subject, I love my family with all my heart. I don't know how they have supported and been in my corner this whole time, given the dumb stuff I do, but they still are, and that's what kept me going through my whole life. I like meeting new people, and I like seeing old friends. I guess what I'm trying to say is I like people. My ultimate goal in life is to make people as happy as they make me, which is a hard thing to do, but I'll still try. Anyway, I wanted to focus on mental health once I first heard about the project. The only problem was conveying it in a way I felt comfortable with. As some of you may know, it started out as a play. I realized it wouldn't have been my vision if I made it that way though. I still wrote a whole script though, which ended up not being used a lot. I want to thank Aiden Burke, Mia Eastwood, Josh Crespi, Colin Wright, and a lot of other people I changed plans on countless times. So I'm here to publicly apologize to you guys, considering I ended up doing everything myself. Aiden's mad because he didn't act in it. I'll give you a chance this summer, don't worry. I gathered up actors, filmers, editors, and then ended up doing everything myself. It changed to a short film around Easter, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be finished. Quick shout out to my mom, who I put a lot of stress on during that time I had nothing done. I ended up filming and editing this in 5 days, having never done anything like it before. I've never acted, I've never filmed any film by myself, and I've sure as hell never edited anything. But I saw my vision, I saw this thing that could really help people, and it made me the most passionate I think I've ever been about something I created. I worked on it every chance I could, for as long as I possibly could, which always tended to be until 1 in the morning. What I'm trying to say is I felt joy in making this, and maybe you don't understand a thing that's going on in it. Hey, maybe you hate it. But I want people to know that this isn't to show how good of an actor, an editor, a general filmmaker I am. This is purely to show the everyday fight of mental health issues and to help people feel less alone in their fight. I want people to know that there doesn't have to be a reason. That's why it's called Reasons. All I want is for people to not feel so alone. So with that, enjoy my short film, Reasons. So that was it. I hope you guys liked it. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of confusion about some of the things to some people, so I'll just explain some of the stuff and then I'll see if anyone has questions for me after. So John Fahey's question is probably, why did you waste so much damn water? And so we'll go with that one at first. So I think running water and water in general was a central theme in the film. For me, I thought it was kind of a representation of the things in your life coming down upon you, and once the water stops running or the things stop coming down, you're not the same as you were before the things happened or before you were in the water. I also think it's a kind of peaceful thing too, because you see like the Jacob Pond scenes and it's very peaceful, but at the same time it can be haunting depending on the context. Also, the faucet running in the beginning was hand in hand with the door being open in representing forgetfulness. You don't pay attention to many pretty important things because you're too inside your own head to realize, oh wait, there's things I need to do. It's difficult to focus on those things when you're in that mindset. Also, I wanted to show the monotony that you go through during the days when you have depression and anxiety, so I quickly cut between the different days doing the exact same things from the exact same angles to show, number one, how alone you feel, and number two, how monotonous and unchanging the world feels around you when you're going through these things. I also want to point out that those video diaries, except for one, are completely unscripted. I wrote one sentence and then let my mind and my feelings take the rest. Those are all true feelings I have had at one time. That's one of those things in there that I wouldn't consider acted. That was just me talking to myself about my feelings with the camera conveniently on during it. I don't know about anyone else who was in the pictures at the last part, but I honestly tear up every time I see it. Here's a quick shout out to all my friends and family who were in it and the ones I couldn't fit in either. I want you all to know that I love you. Anyway, let's talk about the bathtub scene and the subsequent scenes after. If you couldn't already tell, it was meant to convey a suicide attempt by drowning. As you see the camera get closer and closer to the water, you see flashes of memories, followed by blackness, followed by another flash of water. It was meant to represent the flashes you see before you die like that, and then it all cuts to black. Then, you see the same shots from the beginning of the film, except no one's walking in. No one's going up the stairs, no one's shutting the faucet off, no one's playing guitar. It's silent. But you can see that the front door is closed and the faucet is already off. That could mean two things, and then it cuts to black. Then, you feel relieved to see that the character's okay and he's outside this time, changing from being inside a dark room, filming the previous video diaries. I wanted to show self-improvement in a silent way, and I think I achieved that in a good way, showing the contrast of the door open, water running, dark inside, to the door closed, the faucet off, and it's bright outside. I thought that showed improvement very well. And I know that change doesn't happen in one day. I didn't want to show that here. I wanted to show a slight improvement that leads to change. I wanted to show that you need other people. It's a two-way street. You need other people, but you also need to take care of yourself as well. You want to feel togetherness, but you also want to feel solidarity. When you have depression, you only feel the solidarity. You only feel like you're by yourself, where it needs a give and take. And I wanted to show that you need both. So I want to show the importance of relationships and togetherness at the same time, realizing that you need to initiate that as well. But you also need people to care for you, if that made any sense. So I guess I'll take questions if anyone has questions. So if not, that's kind of awkward. I'll just go through it. But if anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But if not, I'll just read my final memoir, I guess. Dope. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come away from this with a sense of hope if you're going through similar things, or a sense of knowledge to care just a little more than you did before. I only want people to care because I think that's the first step to achieving happiness for everyone around us. I know everyone around us being happy is probably unachievable, but hey, someone has to try. So I hope you all have a great night. I just want you to come away with this with the fact that, number one, if you're going through it and you're trying to find something to blame and nothing's happening to you, I know it happened to me for years where I didn't know what caused what I was going through. And then it took me, 3 years to realize it doesn't have to be something. It's just something that happens. Everyone thinks it's an action and a consequence, but sometimes it's just a consequence. And sometimes we're just not lucky. But we can't always be lucky. But we can always be positive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we should all be positive and be together, because we should care for the people around us, and we should also care for ourselves. You need to realize you need to make a change to actually make the change. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed.